All right, I'm here with Lieutenant Bishop. Lieutenant Bishop, tell me what you have going on today.
So today we have our 90th anniversary open house. We got some cool cars here from the history of the Highway Patrol. We have some other stuff inside from our past too. So pretty much it's an open house in recognition of the Highway Patrol's 90th anniversary this year. So we just invite the community to come out, talk to an officer, look around. If you ever want to see what's inside of the Highway Patrol post here on the corner of George Road and US 250, come in and say hi.
And there's actually some little things for the kids. Frisbee, I think I've seen, and some other keychains and stuff.
Yeah, we got some giveaways for the kids, some swag, if you will. So yeah, bring the kids out. Teddy Trooper will be here shortly too.
So how far back does these cars go that you actually drove in at the beginning of your career?
I'm not that old, Joe, but so it goes back probably to the trusty Crown Victoria.
Oh,
so
okay.
Back 2000, I think that one's a 2006 maybe.
Oh, okay. And this is going on from 10, right? 10 to 2?
10 to 2 today. Swing out and say hi.
All right. Have a great day, Lieutenant Bishop. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Joe. All right.
Okay, guys, I'm here talking with retired Sergeant Dale LaRue. Now, Dale, you started back many years ago, and we probably don't want to tell the age. But anyhow, tell me a little bit about all these cars you guys brought down here today.
We represent both the Cleveland Police Museum as well as the Ohio State Highway Patrol Retirees Association. And then also through the museum we are affiliated also with Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Office. But we have here today our collection of 6 Highway Patrol cars, some of which were actual police cars and some which are just reminiscence of the actual Ohio Highway Patrol cars that we had throughout the years.
So tell me a little bit about this first one here.
This first one is the last year that Ohio had black Highway Patrol cars. It's a 1970 Plymouth Fury with a 440 Super Commando engine. After this car, and previous to this, they had started slowly to integrate white cars into the fleet, but this was the last year that they actually had black Highway Patrol cars.
Okay.
This particular car was originally a Wyoming Highway Patrol car, and for the celebration of the patrol's 80th anniversary, it was redone as an Ohio State Highway Patrol car.
Well, it looks beautiful.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Let's move on to the next one. All right, Dale, tell me a little bit about this one, what year it is and when you started with the Highway Patrol.
This one is a 75 Plymouth Fury. I started as a dispatcher for the Highway Patrol in 1974, and then when I went through the academy, this was the car that was still in service at the time that I came out of the academy, and this was the first year and make of cruiser that I drove. The unique thing about this car is the bicentennial stripes on the fender. This was the car that was in service during the 1976 year, and so we put the stripes on as a commemoration for the nation's bicentennial.
Okay, and I noticed the front license plate has ACE. Can you tell me a little bit about the ACE and how you was able to get awarded the ACE?
The ACE program is a program of recognition for the officers that are involved in the recovery of stolen vehicles and the apprehension of an individual associated with that recovery. If you get 5 recoveries with apprehensions, you get a ribbon for the uniform plus the license plate for your car, and then the person in a calendar year that accumulates the most recoveries is then awarded the Blue Max Award, which is another ribbon for the uniform and another license plate for the car.
That's amazing. All right, Dale, tell me a little bit about this one.
This car is a 1988 Plymouth. This particular car was an actual Ohio State Highway Patrol car. It was involved in a collection down in Texas, and several years ago we were able to acquire it from the collector in Texas when he passed away, and he auctioned off his collection. This was the first year, this was the first model that had a 318 engine in it, which was kind of a small engine for police work, but for this size car it worked out the way it needed to do. It was a downsized version from the previous cars that we described.
All right, Dale, tell me a little bit about this one.
This car is a 1988 Chevy Caprice. It is a replication of a car that we used in 1988. The significant factor on this car is that the car number 683 is the unit number of retired Colonel Tom Rice, who served as a superintendent of the Highway Patrol for many years. When the car was restored, it was thought significant that we should dedicate it for him and in his memory as superintendent.
This one.
This is a 1990 Chevy Camaro IROC Z28. It is a replication of one of 13 cars that were recovered back in the early 90s out of a stolen car ring up and around the Cleveland area. At the time of recovery, all the cars were in excellent condition. They were just put together with stolen parts, and the patrol decided that it would be a great statewide award winner recognition if they were issued these cars for patrol. And so they equipped them with the lights, the radios, and the sirens so they could be used on patrol, and they were used for several years for that, and then they were retired to just special events, parades, and car shows and so forth.
That's a sweet looking car. All right, Dale, now this one looks a little more that I remember.
This is the most recent addition to the museum fleet. It was originally kept, and it was going to be put as part of the display at the Heritage Hall at the Patrol Academy in Columbus. And for whatever reason, the headquarters decided they were no longer going to do that, so they were going to put it up to auction. And when I found out about that, I made some contacts and was able to get the patrol to donate this car to the Cleveland Police Museum to continue, because the Ford Crown Victoria was such an iconic vehicle for law enforcement for many years.
This one actually, it cruised at a pretty good speed.
Yes. They were very fast vehicles, even though I believe it was a 351 engine. I forget what liter that would be. But the significance on this car also is that the car number 790 is in commemoration of retired Colonel Butch Collins, who was the superintendent at the time that this car was the last of the white cars. When Colonel Collins retired, Colonel John Bourne came in and changed the color to the current silver Dodge Chargers.
All right, last, but I think this one's my favorite. Tell me a little bit about this one.
This is a 2013 Chevy Camaro. This was seized out of a drug operation and forfeited to the Highway Patrol. It is currently a patrol vehicle. It could be used for enforcement purposes. However, it is usually used just for demonstrations and parades and so forth. Because of its nature, you would have to have extra handling skills to be able to handle the power that this car has.
I understand they're really fast.
Yes, this is a very...
I've never taken one out for a spin, put it that way.
Only through the rumor mill have I heard how fast it can go.
And we'll leave it at that.
And we'll leave it at that.
Thank you, sir. All right, Dale, could you tell me a little bit about the Cleveland Museum? Is that just for police cars, or?
No, the Cleveland Police Museum was established in 1983 as a means of protecting and preserving the history of law enforcement at that time in the city of Cleveland. Since then, it has expanded to cover not only the Highway Patrol, but also sheriff's departments and other departments throughout the Northeast Ohio region. If you come to the museum, we prefer that you check or call ahead of time because they are still on limited hours. It's located at the Justice Center at 1300 Ontario Street in Cleveland. And on display in the museum are many artifacts throughout the years. Most notorious is the torso murders back in the Elliott Ness period when he was safety director for the city of Cleveland. In the museum itself, we only have two vehicles, which are motorcycles, because to put a vehicle inside the building, you have to drain all the fluids, and we have limited space, and we rather drive our cars and take them out for display than have them static in the museum.
Okay. And is there a website, or is there a
yes,
way?
If you go to the Cleveland Police Museum.org on the internet, it'll give you several different links through both the Police Foundation as well as the museum. And there's a special link on the museum webpage for the vintage fleet, which includes not only these highway patrol cars, but also the other vehicles that we have representing law enforcement in Northeast Ohio.
One quick last question there. How long does it take to get through that museum? Is it an all-day thing, or is it you can get through within an hour?
You can take as much time as you want. If you stop and look, it's just like any museum. If you actually read the history as well as look at the displays, you could be there a half hour, you could be there all day.
Okay. Well, thank you, Dale. I sure appreciate it. Real quick, give me how many years did you have with the Highway Patrol?
I had 30 years and retired from here at the Ashland Post as a sergeant.
So what years did you start and what years did you retire?
I started in 1974 as a cadet dispatcher and retired in 2004 as a sergeant.
Well, I miss having you. I miss seeing you around here. I mean, I would have loved to be covering the news when you was a sergeant. I think we would have had some fun.
Thank you much.
See ya.